Good morning, everyone. My name is Jordan, and today we will tackle about contemporary gender issues in young adult literature. Before we identify the different issues, let us first identify the meaning of gender. According to yourdictionary.com, gender is the condition of a human being with a sexual identity, especially with regard to how this affects or determines a person's sexual orientation, self-image, and expression. Basically, gender refers to how a person behaves, act, dress, and interact, which is the gender expression, the personal concept of oneself, which is gender identity, and the person's preference and attraction to someone, which what we call the gender orientation. And now, let us identify the contemporary gender issues that are present in young adult literature. First, we have the gender stereotype. Gender stereotype refers to the innate association of the society to a person, meaning it is the fixed belief of the society that a particular person is only limited to do things. Thus, this violates the gender identity and gender expression of a person. One example that is present in our society is that women should be in the house and do household chores, while men should be the one who are working outside the house. In literature, Pfeiffer 1994 believes that it is important for girls to be exposed to more women writers, but it is equally important to change the way women are portrayed. Because on many young adult and children's literature, women are portrayed as weak, passive, and dependent to men, like on the story of Nick Adams' Horror High, which is a young adult horror book that portrays a female as terrified and terrorized by a male and exemplifies the physically weak, hysterical female characteristics and who is unable to formulate and execute a plan to defend herself. In addition, Overstreet 1994 notes that the ubiquitous stereotype of a female victim as a damsel in distress, passive, and waiting for a prince to rescue her, has its roots in the old tales that dominated early oral traditions. This stereotyping to females is mostly used on Disney movies and storybooks, wherein females or princess is waiting for a strong man or a prince to rescue her, just like the story of Sleeping Beauty, while the story of Snow White and the story of Cinderella portrays the weakness of females. On the other hand, we have the issue on gender bias. Gender bias refers to the favoritism to a particular gender on a literary piece. Usually, it is the act of favoring men over women. Literature available to young adults have generated bias against females. History books contain essentially a record of men's lives, and women's lives are ignored except as they influence the course of a man's life. According to Noble's 1996, more biographies of men are available than women, and science reference books rarely include women. Nobles also noticed that in Asimov's Biographical Encyclopedia of Science and Technology, there are only 10 women scientists found out of 1,195 scientists. But thankfully now there are many young adult literature that depicts that women can be strong and can break the gender stereotypes associated to them, just like the story of Katniss in The Hunger Games, which depicts a society wherein male and female character display a full range of characteristics and do not always conform to gender stereotypes. Katniss Everdeen is a 16-year-old female who is strong, intelligent, confident, and skilled in archery. On this story, Katniss demonstrates that males and females can be both strong, intelligent, and can be vulnerable. On the other hand, along with the society's treatment to the LGBTQ+ community, there are many young adult literature that tackles homosexuality. It began in 1969 on the novel of John Donovan entitled I'll Get There, It Better Be Worth the Trip. The novel tells the story of Davy Ross, a lonely boy who became a close friend with a male classmate at his new school, and then the friendship later turns into sexual, and eventually causing Davy to struggle with feelings of guilt. Another story is Nancy Gordon's Annie on My Mind in 1982, which is considered one of the pioneering works focusing on lesbian themes. It is the story of two girls named Lisa and Annie who fell in love after becoming close friends. Lisa attends a private school while Annie attends a public school in the city. They met on a museum and became friends. They spent a lot of time together, growing closer with each experience. Eventually, Annie confessed that she thinks she might be a lesbian, while Lisa has never given much thought of her own sexuality, but knows that she has always felt different. It is not long before their relationship turns into a romantic relationship. Over the school year's final break, Lisa volunteered to house sit for two teachers from the school while they take a vacation. Lisa and Annie live together and some people suspect that they are lovers, though they act only in a professional manner at work, so no one will know about their relationship. Lisa took the opportunity to play with Annie, but the girls got caught by another teacher and were reported to a school official. She is not banned from the school, but the two teachers were fired. Eventually, Lisa and Annie go their separate ways and head to college. But the end of the novel reveals that they never stop loving each other and they always meet during winter break. Annie on My Mind was written in a time in which homosexuality was less understood and less tolerated, which very well could have contributed to the fact that Lisa and Annie had some bad experiences. The author, which is Garden, is sympathetic to the LGBT themes, and the mere fact that this novel featuring lesbian teenagers was published and available to teen readers in the early 1980s is reason for recognition, and it certainly paved the way for other young adult novels addressing LGBTQ issues and characters. Just like The True Believer of Virginia Woolf, who won a National Book Award, The Punkzilla of Adam Rapp, who won a Prince Honor Award, and Jacqueline Woodson, who includes gay-related themes in a number of her novels, won a Margaret A. Edward Awards.